Good morning. Good morning. Today we're going to be taking a look at XRP, some long-term and short-term price action, along with liquidity and the Sigma coin. So nothing major to report in today. We just kind of have the same setup that we did yesterday. Our candle will end up closing here in the next 11 hours or so, and we'll get another reading on how our indicator is looking at that point. We are starting to see some weakness here on the indicator. They're getting close to touching again. They have gotten really close before, and eventually they kind of they run away from the price action. So we'll just continue to monitor this and see if we end up having a touch there. But these two guys are looking okayish, right? So this guy's pointed down. We can have a reversal back to the upside pretty quick because this is our fast indicator. Our overall trend is the one we're looking at here with the colors, and this is our middle range indicator. That does still show that we're bullish, but you can notice we're getting a little bit of a, not what I want to do. We're getting a little bit of a pullback here on this candle. So you're seeing that the body of this lighter color is coming into the darker one, which shows a little bit of weakness coming into it. Now, these often come back as bullish divergences. So you'll see like this, for example, is an area where we did it back in January. And when we zoom out on the chart, then this was, of course, the opposite. We actually had a higher price action. So into that January window where we had a bullish divergence, it popped. And so makes sense that we would have the inverse or a breakdown as it's kind of weakening, but then it gets stronger again and continues through. So that's to be expected. So far we're looking good still in the indicator. Nothing has changed. We're basically at the cost basis. $1.85 is where they said to enter. They tapped you. They're messing around, and we'll see how today's market goes, right? So that's the biggest thing for today. Russell is still floating around out here in the happy place up here in the levels, and so we're going to see how that plays. S&P 500 though did have a pretty big smack back with a couple gaps that it's playing with here this morning, and it's got a little bit of weakness at the day open here. So we'll see if we're able to swing back up first or back down, clear these, and then move, and that's kind of what we'll have to check in on for our day. And then finally, we zoom in on the short-term time frame for XRP. We've been following a 4-hour for kind of like a more accurate swing trade. And if you notice, we had our breakdown event before the full capitulation that triggered red, and then we had the full wick down, pull back up, and now we're down here. But we're getting close to this indicator ultimately touching. So hopefully in the next 4 hours or so, there should actually be a cross again. And we can have false positives here on the lows, but this is a good base forming here back at the 786 fib for this local move, and we should hopefully have a continuation onward and upward. So that's what we're waiting for based off the indicator. Then we jump over to liquidity and we say, okay, well, what could we do today? Well, we have liquidity to the upside, $1.94, and there was more up here at $208 and 209. And then finally, Sigma coin is sitting here floating just kind of like with a back test with a pretty clear 5 waves, kind of how I'm looking at it. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this will be our 5th right here. So 1, and then you would have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 4 and 5. So there's your 5 waves. We do an ABC down, building a support right here, closed all the inefficiency gaps. Might have a little bit swing lower down to 616. People have been looking for an entry to gain access to the indicator channel on Discord. Well, you've been given it. People are selling, giving you some openings. So you've got some opportunities here to start stacking at 651K market cap. So Sigma is basically just kind of working its continual grind higher. We then have the liquidity sweeps that potentially are set to the upside on the 3-day. Let's go zoom in on the 24 hours, see what we got here. I bet you it's on both sides like it always is. And no, it's actually here on the upside. So that's kind of good. We actually can be moving potentially up today. And we then have the overall market itself with a 4-hour getting ready to turn positive and the 3-day indicator still indicating. So we will just continue to monitor this. This is our main anchor for our thesis on what we're doing. And so right now, thesis is we are a go. So a little bounce. We're just going to continue to watch this. If we flip negative, we'll start looking to exit, take profits. And you'll either have plenty of time to do it or none. So we'll just have to play that out when we get there. And that's pretty much what you got for the recap on the market today. So we'll check in tomorrow, and thanks so much for watching.